Hello there, friends. Hi. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? How are you feeling? Thank you. I love the flowers. Thank you so much. Yes, it's that time of year. So, you have to bring a little bit of the outside in, especially since we're not spending so much time outside. So, hi everyone. Thank you and welcome back to, or welcome if it's your first time, another Ailey All Access Special Event, Conversations with. As we are trying to find ways and continuing to find ways to build bridges of communication as we're in this time of quarantine or intermission, as I like to say. What better way than to dive in deeper with conversations with your favorite Ailey dancers? And today, we have got let's see, my cute friend. I can't even. I am done. I'm done myself, but my really cute friend. Hold on, let me bring her in. Hold on one second. I gotta find her to bring her in. Oh, I don't see you in the list. Come on. Oh wait, there you are. Don't be mad at me for this picture, but I've seen you.
Hey,
Hey, Belén.
hi guys. I love
Every,
that picture.
everyone, welcome. Okay, I'm gonna get it right, Belén. This is Miss Belén Indhira Pereyra. How did I do?
That was perfect.
Thank you.
That was perfect. You're so
I, I,
silly.
I, I, I promise you, friend, you have given me this look.
Oh, in the past?
Yes, in the
Oh
past.
my God. Well, it's like A for effort. I really am okay with it. I really am.
Oh, I love it. I love it. How are you doing? How are you doing
I'm
during
doing
this time?
really great. I am. I'm doing really great. Sorry about I'm like shifting. I'm just trying to find the camera angle.
No, no, no. Make it work. Make it work. Make it work.
I'm doing really great though. I'm really enjoying this time to myself. I am an introvert, so I've never had this opportunity to really get to know myself, and I've loved it. I really
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. So it's like it's cleansing too. It's healing and
Yeah.
and rejuvenating. And like I call it this forced break. We've been forced to have an intermission, and I love it. Someone saying you don't play games. That's what that look is.
Ah, no, it's like I have to understand my whole life things, so it's a tricky name, because it has an accent. So it's A for effort. But yeah, thanks. That's so
Thank
sweet.
you. Thank you, Belén Indira Pereira.
Wow.
But I've heard so many things. Some people will come in and they'll call you Baleen, and I'm like, she is not Baleen. And then
Yeah.
there's, I mean, all Belén. I don't know,
I'm
but
saying
you know
it's
what?
like it's whatever,
I,
because it's just a toughie.
I'm gonna do my best. So tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and how you got into dance. Start us off. Bring us in, sister. Bring us in.
Yes, I am originally from Dominican Republic, and came to this country around 4 years old with my family, and started dancing around 7. My mom got me into a Peruvian dance group along with my sister, and I loved it so much. I didn't know why I loved it so much, but it was so much fun picking up all these really intricate steps with my feet, and it was very focused on folkloric. So it was a lot of like partner dancing and um, embracing different characters. So it was lovely. And then I eventually, when I was 8, got into Lawrence Ballet Academy, and I didn't get in. I just paid, and yeah, it was awesome. We learned their ballet, jazz. We had a little bit of hip hop. It was just like a group of Spanish kids, mostly Dominicans, because I grew up in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and it's predominantly Spanish. At least the area where I grew up, I was like, where's everybody else? Which is great because I got to keep the language because of that, and I got to really connect with my culture. So I grew up in that kind of vibe, super strong Latin roots. So I did a lot of folkloric all the way up until high school, which I was very fortunate to do, because I think it gives a lot of color to my work that you may not find if you just did ballet. So I'm really glad for those really juicy seeds from my upbringing. And then I got into Boston Arts Academy. That one I did have to audition for, of course. And so the fun fact about Boston Arts Academy is that I wasn't supposed to go there.
Oh yeah, I love this story. I love this story.
Yeah. So
but how far away is Lawrence from Boston?
So the commute we had to make, which was by train, was about an hour and 40 minutes. I mean, that's like the 40-minute like commute, and then the train ride when you get to Boston, right? So it was like a whole new world, because there's no trains in Lawrence. It's just a little town.
Right.
So this whole new world opens up. I knew I was going to go to BA since I was 7, and we weren't, because seventh grade.
Seventh
grade. And but I knew I wanted to dance and be in New York eventually, right? So I just knew I got to go where the dance is. And so Boston had this beautiful school. And so we were called the Lawrence Contingents. We were very proud. There was like 4 of us freshman year. And eventually, as the years went on, we kept like adding a crew of like, we're just like bringing them over. But it's technically illegal because it was a public school. And so our teachers weren't aware of it in the beginning, but eventually we were like, we're from Lawrence. We kind of gave ourselves away. So by junior year, they sat us down, and by this time there was like 7 of us, and they just said, listen guys, we love you so much, but you can't be here unless you move to Boston. By that point, I had transitioned into, we were in tears. Like our parents were there. I was like, no, because we got so familiar with it. And we loved our teachers, which were brilliant. That's where I really evolved in my modern and the further my technique, you know. So I knew that if I didn't graduate from Boston Arts Academy, the trajectory of my life was going to be not where I wanted it to be, and it really scared me. Anyway, by this point, I was a part of Origination Cultural Arts Center. And I had, Boston. And I was a very proud member, 7-month-long member by this point of Nia Dance Troupe, which is their senior hip hop company. And we do African there and some lyrical work. And Musau Dibinga, which is one of the 3 sisters that run the studio, had a space in her house. And Yanja, which is her sister, was like, you should ask Musau. And I was like, okay. And I begged her. I was crying. I was like, please, let me stay. And so she did. And that's how I ended up finishing my senior year. You know.
So wait a second. Sorry, I have to interrupt you. At 16 years old, you knew that you wanted to dance so badly. There was a burning in your heart for something so badly that you were willing to ask someone if you could stay in their house just to keep your dance education
for 7
going.
months. Only for 7 months.
7 months. Okay.
Yeah.
You had known her for a short amount of time.
7 months by that point. I remember the number because I was like, I'm afraid to ask.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just like.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep jumping, but I just I've known you, and I think I knew the story, but I don't think I put it together like this. That was such a sacrifice you were willing to make at 16.
And my mom.
And your mom. Exactly.
Because I'm the baby, right? So when you're the baby, it's like extra protection. And she's very tight, like pulled with me. You know, she doesn't like me to, she was wanting to hold my hand crossing the street by this point still. You know, like she was very like protective over me. And I swear it was God, divine intervention that was kind of whispered in her ear, like she needs to go. And for a whole year, my mom let me live pretty much not a stranger's house, but she didn't really know Origination by this point, like not to that degree. Oh, yay. That was a Lawrence Ballet Academy.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
you look so
around
cute.
Here. Thank you. So yeah, so anyway, I moved in with Musau, ended my senior year, graduated to my surprise, valedictorian. And then things,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was shocked too. I was like, I didn't know that.
Belén!
Yeah. So by this point, you know, I was like, I'm set. You know, I think I had a mind frame that if you worked your butt off, as you know, like you work really hard, eventually it gets like easy, and you have to, and you could stop trying.
Right.
So when I graduated, I didn't send in my deposit on time for the college. I sent it in a day late for the college that gave me a full scholarship in Lake Erie. I don't even remember the name. I just remember it was like in Lake Erie, and other schools had given me partial scholarships, but I was like, I'm gonna go to this one. I passed it in a day late. I'm assuming it was my laziness. The details fail me, but I think at that point I was like, oh, I'm good. I don't have to try that hard. It's gonna fall into my lap. So that fell over because they took the scholarship away just one day. And by this point, I had said no to all the other schools. And I ended up senior year graduating that summer, nowhere to go, no college, sprained my ankle in a summer camp in Florida. And then my auntie was making like bomb Dominican food. So I was like, I was eating my depression. So I got real round and comfy in my body, which is fine, but it was scary because I'm like, I have nowhere to go. And really last minute in the summer, my guidance counselor helped me find a college to go to, just because college is what you do, right? I was pressed on that. And got into a college last minute. They had a really teeny dance program where it was just not for me. I quit after a semester because I'm like, if I'm paying this out of pocket, mind you, I was in a citizen, so I couldn't really even make money. So I decided to quit college after a semester. My dance teacher from Boston Arts Academy, Cheryl Pollard Thomas, who's like my second mom, she was like, you can move in with me and my two girls. And what I did is that I lived with her for over a year and a half, and I would go every single day with her and her daughter, her oldest daughter, Kiara. We would go to school together. We would all, like, I kind of learned another side of a family and like a motherhood, and it was just really beautiful to be in their presence. And we would go to school every day, and I would take morning and afternoon classes with the students, and it was extremely embarrassing. Extremely
just because you had graduated already? That's the only reason?
Graduated. Yeah. But it was even more embarrassing because it lasted for about 3 years, for about 2-3 years. At least in my mind, this all felt like 10 years, right?
Right.
That took me to get into Ailey, but it was actually only 6 from my graduation to Ailey. But so I did that. It was humbling to see this. I did work study programs wherever I could find, Jose Mateos, Jeanette Niels, just trying to get free classes. For me, it was just like dance. And I was still at Origination doing my work with Nia Dance Troupe, which we were killing it. Shout out to Nia. And eventually, okay. And then so Miss Thomas knew Earl Mosley, who had Earl Mosley Institute of the Arts. And a few years later, I went to that camp on a full scholarship. Thank you so much, whoever donated, because I didn't have the means. And that's where I met Camille Brown, who didn't even have me in a piece. She saw me, it was the last week of the summer, it's a 4-week program. She saw me dancing in, what is the name? Christopher Huggins' piece, which was so hard. Anyway, it was awesome. And so then she's the one who kind of believed in me for the first time, as in like she gave me a chance. She saw me dancing and she asked me to be in her company when I was doing a little workshop back in New York. So she thought I lived in New York. So she hired me.
Okay, I got to pause you for a second.
Yeah.
Because these comments, I mean, I just need to say them out loud because I know you're talking and you don't always know the impact you have on others. But, you know, like you look dedication up in the dictionary and a photo of Belén comes up. Eyes on the prize. This is so people need to hear every road isn't straight. This is what I'm talking about, you know, because so many people are fortunate and privileged, and you are as well. You are also fortunate and privileged in your own way.
Absolutely.
But the crawl up, I'm not going to say the fight, because everyone's fight is different. But this is important for people to know that the road hasn't been straight. The road hasn't been direct, but it has also been purposeful.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
It's so important.
Ladies,
I don't know how I would have functioned in Ailey without my background, without
right.
that being tested, because you have to really love what you do to do this work in this beautiful company, because it's going to try you. I actually joke that Ailey's like the greatest spiritual work you'll ever do.
Yes.
being a dancer in this company, it's all encompassing, and it's amazing. Yeah.
So I just have to do another little, like, I call it my metro, where I invite people who don't really know that this is Belén Indhira Pereyra, who is a member of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. I'm Hope Boykin. We're thrilled to be a part of this conversations with. Any more information you want about anything, all Ailey, you can go to alvinailey.org/Ailey All Access. And there are classes that you can join at the Ailey Extension. If you have a question for Belén or for me, right next to the comment bar, there's a question mark. So don't hesitate to push that, and we'll throw your questions in throughout this talk. But this is like perfect. So someone just wrote, my first time seeing her dance was in a work entitled Grace in Chicago. Fierce. I mean, we're going to talk about some of your works, but hold on. I'm going to give them a little surprise. There we go. Let's see. How's that? Bam. That's you, babe.
I love that role. I do.
Okay. So I want to go back a little bit. You graduated from high school. You didn't take the direct path that you thought you wanted, but the one you needed, by staying with Cheryl Thomas and maybe, continuing to learn. And then you got to New York.
Yes.
And I
didn't get to New York yet. I actually, when I was working with Camille, I believe the first year I was commuting for one rehearsal.
From Boston.
From Boston for about a year.
That's like 5 hours on the train. So
no, but I took the bus, so it was 8-hour round trip for a rehearsal. I'm telling you, I wanted it bad. It's like, I'm getting to New York, I don't care.
Yes.
For dance. And she was so amazing. So I eventually, because the work was consistent, I did eventually move. And Mr. Mosley got me, he's like my uncle, he got me a gig at the extension program at Ailey, and said that I could take classes with him and so forth. It took me 6 months, and I'm not exaggerating, to muster the strength to start taking classes with the BFA students, because the fact of the matter was, and I mean like accumulating my classes for the work study, because you get 3 free classes for every 4 hours you work. I worked 1 shift on Mondays. And I was petrified because I didn't get into the school, and I didn't get scholarships for summer programs. So in my mind, I wasn't good enough. And by this point, I never thought Ailey was a possibility. So even like being in the company, so the school alone scared me.
But wait, so what work did you do at the extension? Like, you signed
I would sign people in. You know the people who work on the side when you walk in on the right? That was my seat. And you would just sign people in, and then you would go, which I didn't like this part, you would go into the classes and make sure everyone's in the class, which would kind of like disturb the class because teachers would hate it. But I'm like, we all know this is happening.
So I have to interrupt you again, because this is like secret superpowers, because we don't know. I mean, everyone who comes in, if you've never been to the Ailey building, if you're not, if you're a visitor to New York and you walk in our amazing, beautiful building, right on 55th Street and 9th Avenue, there's so much going on. But like, the company photos are on the wall. Then there's Ailey 2. You see students dressed all in black. And the extension desk is on the side for people to come and take. But sometimes we forget that those people are there because they love dance too. Exactly. Because when I met you, I didn't know you'd worked for the extension. We were taking a Madame Darbo's class together.
Yes. So Madame, this was important. No, it was God sent. God, you know, I joke, but it's true. I feel like God did this really crazy roundabout in my life so that I can meet Madam. I mean, so I can meet everybody I met, but Madam specifically, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It was the first time in my life, and I love all of my teachers, and we all speak different languages, but Madam spoke in the way that worked for me, in the sense of she was talking about anatomically correct things and how to do it. You know, I was finally understanding how my body worked. And even if, for example, I was like turning better in class, I didn't even know how, but I was like, whatever she is telling me to do is working. So stick to it. And I told her I'm very passionate about this work. Actually, she's the one who pulled me aside. She's like, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know your body. You know how she is.
I got that too. But just in case people don't know who Madame Darvash is, Gabriella Darvash came to the United States, I think in the early 70s. And someone I'm sure will correct me if I'm wrong. And she didn't even speak English well. This is one of those, she's from Transylvania. So she's coming in and she's learning how to speak English from watching soap operas, but she knew dance. Yeah. And she worked with people, Judy Fugate, and the names are escaping me, but like superhuman ballet teacher. And let me tell you, I affectionately call her old lady. She hates it, but you know, I always say when I teach my class this, my old lady said to do this, to do that. And there's so many of us that she has influenced. So Madame Darvash is a supreme master ballet teacher. She's a supreme teacher. She is a master teacher, and she can articulate how each body can move. I think Fauna just said, Madam can read your entire life and get you on your leg. Yes, she can.
Because she finally made sense of what, you know, it just felt like dance was so away from me, in the sense of like, I knew I could dance and I knew that I could do the technical things, but there was a little bit of like a gap of like, but how? Like how how do I use my body properly? Because there's a reason why I'm falling, and there's something that I'm not hearing or not understanding in myself. And she just simplified it. Mind you, she was like the toughest cookie ever. And she, for 2 years, and still, for 2 years straight, she'd come an hour early before anybody showed up, and she would give me a private free. Actually, she still did it after we got into Ailey. She still came an hour early for me for free to coach me, because she just is like that. She just cares about ballet. And I was hungry for knowledge. I'm like, I'm turning better. I'm holding my body better. And it was because of that confidence, finally, like I was able to grab the talent with the technique. I was like, this is not as hard as I'm thinking, you know, not as hard as it looks. And sorry if I'm getting teary.
No, but it's important.
Yeah. And she just gave me hope that I can be in this company. Because by this point I had apprenticed with Ron Brown, and it just felt like my talent wasn't really being seen in evidence. So I left, and I was working at Applebee's and Best Buy, and I hated the struggle. I hated it. I was so tired of I don't like those jobs. They're not for me. I need to be moving and dancing, and I can't just dance in like little spurts every so often. And so I really needed to buckle down. And so in one of those shifts of mine on Mondays, I sat down and I was like, I'm tired. I need to buckle down. Which company am I trying to audition for? And I remember looking up, and they had just maybe like a week ago placed that picture of Buked at the top of my head.
Yes.
And it's in the building when you enter. And I was like, I think I'm gonna audition for Ailey. And I was like, I should do it. And I think the fact that Kervin Boyd did it, who was a Boston Arts Academy grad,
right.
I felt I could do it. Second, the fact that Madam gave me the tools to look like what I saw on stage, which means I can do it too. It gave me inspiration and courage. And then lastly, Hope, I have told you this before, but you were a huge inspiration to me. I had seen Ailey many, many, many times, but not only did I think I could not be in the company because of whatever ideas I've given myself. But you were someone that you were someone that inspired me in the company. And everybody was beautiful. I didn't have that, you know, I see myself on stage moment, like most people do with the Ailey company, but I felt the athleticism of the company really spoke to me. But something about you, Hope, your electricity on stage, when I used to go back in Boston, and I'm talking about as a student, really moved me, because it kind of spoke to that like rawness I like to express when I'm on stage. You kind of gave me that fire in your way on stage. So you always stood out to me, and I'm really grateful for that. Also, in the moments where I felt uncomfortable in my body and I thought I couldn't do it, I was like, Hope is killing it. And it looks like, no, but I'm saying you look like a regular, beautiful human being, as in like, we're always taught that you have to be like,
like a knife. That's what I call it.
Yeah, and that's great, but it was so motivating. This is when I was back in Boston, and I didn't know Camille, and I didn't think dance was possible. I was going to quit. There was so much temptation to just, this is ridiculous, Belén, stop. And I would see you dance, and I'd be like, I could do it, you know? So there was all these little moments, and so that's what gave me the courage to say, I'm gonna audition for Ailey, because, you know, one, financially, I was ridiculously struggling. I mean, to the point where I was on a train station selling paintings. I even met, my sister paints too. And I was like, can I have your paintings? And it's gone that far in that point where I was financially struggling, where I had to sell my paintings, which I sold one, I think it was like for $5. But yeah, I eventually decided I'm done with the financial crisis. I want to travel the world, but most importantly, I want to be challenged, versatile, like in versatility. I felt I could sense in myself, whether I knew it through experience, I could sense that I was a very versatile dancer, if only I was given the opportunity, you know? And so I was like, Ailey's the one. Let me just go. And
I am just so overwhelmed. First of all, I'm overwhelmed to be on your list. So thank you, because it's moving to hear that, and I'll just leave it right there because I'm not getting emotional. But someone posted in this, it looks like, sorry, I don't know how to say it, but it says, a life in performing arts is so challenging on every level, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, etc. However, it offers so many rewards for the talented, determined, and hardworking few. And Belén, that's it. You know, like everything. I mean, this is the easiest. You just listening to you talk about this story, which I hope you've also written down or spoken into a machine, because this is not just for me or just for these few. This story is important, you know, like having a goal, knowing something. And I listen to people talk about pride and being proud of their work, but also acknowledging their talent, but not necessarily in the way that someone else might say they're being cocky. Look, you have something to say. I have a voice. You have a voice. Exactly. Hold on, I'm back. People calling me, so it just switches my phone off. But you have a voice, and this voice has got to be heard. But knowing that you have the talent is it. Do you know what I mean? So I just want to thank everybody for these comments as they keep coming through. I want to keep going. So I heard Matthew called me one day, and you know, this was the day of the audition, and he said, I was like, who got in? And he was like, well, this girl, Belén, got in. I don't know if you know her, because you used to wear this legendary royal blue leotard in Madam's class all the time.
Probably like my one of two.
and I was like, I don't know who that is. And then when we came in that day, I was like, you probably came in and blew everybody's mind, because, you know, there's somewhat of a formula. People assume, like, just like earlier it said, not every road is straight. You know what I mean? Not every path is direct. but you probably came in and blew some people's minds. You came in for that job.
Well, like, yes. Well, so I'll explain why. The moment, so when I'll go back to that moment where I decided I was going to be in Ailey, I was going to audition. It was a year before. So I gave myself a year. I said, I need time. I love a prep. And so I was like, I'm just going to dedicate my time to this. And that's exactly what I did. Up until the wire, I dedicated everything from every aspect of my life was focused on manifesting it.
Right,
so I'm a big believer, and it's just the law of attraction. And so I decided, okay, so what do the Ailey dancers look like? How do they dance? Because in my mind, you guys were superheroes, and this is like a ridiculous dream. I'm like, what are you? Okay, you want to do this? Right. Okay, let's do it. And so I studied how you guys looked, and I changed my body. I started changing the way I ate, the words I spoke to myself, how I took class. I started monitoring, for example, did I stand in the front of the class today? Mind you, I'm not in the school. So it's like embarrassing, right?
Right.
I'm in black ties because I'm like, I don't go here. I can do what I want. And I would stand in the front. I would make myself, because I was petrified. But I was like, if you can't be in the class in the front, how are you gonna get into the company? So I was like, I would do that. I would get in the front. I would envision all the posters that I was in them. I would envision those when you guys put those pictures up of all the people in the walls of in the company. I'd see my face in it. I would walk around like, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. And I worked my butt off for it. And especially that last month, I did my P90X, changed my body. I was like, I'm going to look just like them. They won't know the difference. Because there's a part of me that doubted, that was still scared. Like, you didn't even get into school. Like, what are you talking about? So there was fear. But I was like, listen.
Wait, say that again. You didn't even get into the school, but.
No, but I got into that company. No, but I will tell you this. I auditioned once before, when I got to New York. Mr. Mosley was like, you have to audition. It's Ailey auditions. And I was like, ugh, because I wasn't ready. I was out of shape. I didn't feel good. The technique was off. Like I didn't feel ready. And I remember going into the audition, no joke, thinking solely about my next meal and chapstick. It was not. And when I got cut at ballet, I was like, thank you. I'm ready to get some chapstick. Like, so I never count that audition because my heart wasn't in it. I didn't think I belonged there.
Right.
But it was kind of really good to have a sense of what was going to happen. Hopefully not get cut after ballet. So come audition day, I was convinced this is mine. And my friend let me borrow her unitard. None of it was mine. I was like, great. I feel fantastic. And I walked in there owning it. As in, I don't even remember seeing the panel. I remember being really happy for the girls. Sarah was doing 3 pirouettes. I was like, oh, we going there. Okay, yes. Like, I was in such a good space that I was like happy for everyone as I just like went off, it was dancing. But I knew it was mine when we did Love Stories. And I have to shout out to my Nia dance troupe, because that's where I was like, I'm gonna slay this, because it was hip hop. I was like, this is mine. This is mine. I'm gonna take out my Nia dance troupe move. And I just had a blast, and when they announced that I got in, I was like, I couldn't believe it.
We shared the same part, didn't we? Did I teach you?
We did.
We did. I taught you that.
I love learning from you. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Besides it being easy, this conversation is so easy. I don't even know what to do. I mean, Belén, I am dying over here. But I have to ask you about, once you got into the company, was there anything you saw that you wanted to dance? And you were like, okay, hold on. this is, you said the audition was mine. What about, like tell me about some,
so when
I love this right here, this ballet.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is Ulysses Dove episodes, right? I love that part. I love playing like wild and crazy and like like not violent parts, but just like wild woman, like not of this beautiful tame. Sometimes you want to just like let it out. Yeah.
Yes.
So I did want to do that role, but I would eventually love to do the lead in episodes. I think that would be really fun.
People listening? Are people
right?
listening?
Right. When I got into the company, I wanted to do Wade, and I got to do that a year in. So that was exciting. I wanted to do Fix Me, which when I got it, I was like, get. Like,
what did you say?
What? No, I was in shock. I was amazed.
I threw that one up too.
Oh, yay.
I think that's with Colin.
Yeah. And I love it. I'm so grateful. It has challenged me and it has helped me evolve. So those were the ones that were like obvious when I got into the company that I really wanted. But no, when I got in, I was just like, there was so much information on top of the fact that everybody who had been on my wall for like inspiration was like standing around me. And I was so hard to breathe. You wouldn't know, but I was freaking out inside the whole first year. Well, because I went from, just a lot less dancing. And it was everything I had never tried.
Right.
Was asked of me the first week. So I was like, oh my God, how do I? But I had to look confident, so I kind of kept it together.
No, you did. You did keep it together. And what's interesting is not knowing all that you had been through and hearing this now and knowing how you functioned. It makes perfect sense. Like I read some of the list of things that people said, diligence. If there's no other word for you, it's diligence. Yeah. But when you don't have something and you see it and you want it, and there's a path, and like you're just whipping things out. You have your machete just cutting things down to get to the end. That's the part that speaks to so many people. Do you know what I mean? I'm proud of you. And I hope, and I know you're proud of yourself. When I say that, I mean that in the very best way. But Sam is saying, here, Samuel Lee, but like, I'm proud of you because this is not easy. And it makes so much sense. Our friends and our extended family, let me tell you, Belén knows all of her choreography, okay? But she goes over that stuff until the curtain is going up, because when you know it, you don't have to think about it, right? Like you can go out there. I know, right?
I want to go off. I want to be free on stage. And it's not just for that. I think the more free I am, the reason why I work so hard is that to be liberated is to liberate others, So I choose to continue to work towards that goal. Like, how close can I get to myself so that I can really express authenticity to heal? I could definitely, I'm working on doing less overall, but you know what I mean? But just like have a deeper intention. And so I love the work because it's worth it,
I remember
whether I get it or not. Huh?
I remember that first day and I looked over, I was like, are you marking? It was like a year and a half in. Do you remember?
No, it wasn't a year and a half in. It was 3 years in. I remember.
3 years?
Yeah.
I was like,
you were like, you put a post on, I think you said on Facebook, you were like, oh my God, did everybody notice Belén was marking?
Because you had gotten to the place where you were a little bit more, you were more confident in your ability, I thought. But like hearing this now, it's a completely different understanding.
Yeah, I had to.
Sarah said she remembers that day when I was like,
it was like, I remember even when it was what was that piece, what was it, Garth Fagan, yeah. I remember. That's how significant that moment was. Even I was like, oh yeah, I guess I am.
So wait, check check the box for. Oh, someone just wrote. Melissa Dustin wrote, "You're an inspiration." I agree. Yes. Let me go back in. Let's see. Uh, let's see. What does this say? How did the signature Belén updo come about? Oh, it looks so effortless with minimal hairpins. I'm sorry, those are not minimal. Those hairpins are all over the Marley.
you have to have a few, or then my hair is like coming out every day at work. I'm always dancing with like some floppiness. So yeah, you know, I think it started with, I was just watching the other day, Camille Brown's Girls Verse one. Yeah. I don't know if you ever seen it. There's a solo I have where I have to like pick up my hair and like wrap it up. And I think that's what started how easy it was to do that bun in 2 seconds. I was like, that's my thing.
I kind of want to see you just do that choreography one more time.
Well, it was that. It was like putting it up. That was the choreography, and then it would go into something else. So the simplicity of that, with the fact that I always love really regal hairdos or whatever, it transcended into this, which is many variations of just twirls and twists. If I could do it in 2 seconds, then I'm on the right track. That's usually my goal.
Right. Let's see. So I'm going to throw this other question in. Hold on one second. Sorry.
No.
From Samuel Lee, me. I've always wanted to know what it feels like to be Belén dancing. Get in line, Sam. Can you describe where you go?
Where do I go? You're so silly, Sam. Can I describe where I go? I try to stay in the present. I do. Like when I'm in my sweet spot, I get lost in the music. Like I think music and me have like a love affair. I'm sure like everybody. There's something about, no matter where I am, if I hear something that inspires me, like I can't help it. So when I get lost in that space, it's in the present moment. Of course, everyone does that, but I don't know. I just get lost in the stuff I don't know about myself. You know what I mean? Like, for example, when I did the Morolo role, I really enjoyed doing something like that because I was able to go beyond who I think I am.
That was I just want to share, that was a piece in Mr. Ailey's Masakela Langage, and it's the black and pink striped dress that is epic.
It's so fun.
Epic. And my character has to have their back when I sit. I would sit like this, but you're just turning over because you just hear you breathing. So we know. Yeah. So someone in the comments asked, Beachy Beauty 80 is asking, what do dancers eat to balance their diet? Don't ask me. I haven't balanced anything since we got home from tour.
Everyone's so different. Yeah. Everyone needs something different. I myself am a vegetarian. I love chocolate though, so that's where it gets tricky. But yeah, I just try to keep it really clean. I love salads for breakfast. And just if you season everything well, you can have a salad all the time. It's just everything's so good. So yeah, just eat your greens, a lot of water, probiotics, things like that. Everybody's different though.
And it's interesting because you say, I mean, I joke around, but everyone is different. But I think Samantha Fagan says dates.
I love dates.
But I think the important thing is to really try foods, because if you don't try things, then you will have no idea, and everything is limited. And I feel like if I could have changed one thing in how I was growing in dance or growing up or becoming an artist, if I had just tasted foods, if I had known I liked olives earlier, that would have opened up an entire palette of foods for me. And I just didn't know it, so that's a good transition for me. Tell me about something that you may have changed. I know that our path is already ordered. We've already talked about not everything is direct, but if there's something you could have changed, if there's one idea that you could have maybe reversed, not that we know that God's hand is in everything, right?
Yeah.
But if there's something you could think about differently, what would you have? What would you think, or what would you do?
I think right when I realized I wasn't going to go to school and all that stuff happened that summer, I wish I would have had someone come to me and just like, it's all going to be okay. I just feel like there was this space of fear that started clouding me. And yeah, I kind of stayed for a long time. And when that happens, you actually create a neural pathway of that energy. And so I needed that. So I'm grateful it happened. But
Right.
it would be really nice to have had in that initial moment, I mean, to just have heard like it's gonna be like, you got this. I don't know, because it was me and my own voice, and at that point the voice was like, you're not going to college, you sprained your ankle. It was just a lot of gloomy energy, and it took a toll on me. So, but it's made me so much stronger. And it's the reason why I love, what I do at Ailey, because I'm able to keep up also emotionally, energetically. I understand what it is to put your heart on the line all the time for your dreams. I did the work, and it's a continuous journey. So God.
It looks like you have a namesake in the comments from Belén Tornas, maybe, says thanks, Hope, and all the members of Alvin Ailey. And I think you said some other things. That's in my mom. Here. Oh, it is. I didn't know your mother that was your mom's same name, really?
Yeah, Belén.
Oh, I'm your mother's Odetta.
She only knows you as Odetta. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to go to the questions that come in. Someone said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Ingrid Harrell, realtor, said, what is marking?"
Okay.
Well, so when you come to a performance, 9 times out of 10, we have danced all day, we've had class, we have rehearsed, but it is not your business that we've done all those things, and we should not look tired. And so sometimes we hold back in rehearsals and don't give 100% energy so that we can preserve for the next time. You would never want to come to a performance and see someone marking on stage. That part is unacceptable. So when we're in rehearsals, or when we've done something over and over again, or maybe even getting a new dancer into a work, we'll hold back a little bit to preserve us for whatever's next for that day.
Yeah.
Some of these are so small, so I'm going to have to just click on them. I hope I can read them. How important is it to you, from Vivalicious, that's a cute name, to be a dancer who just happens to be a minority in this particular company? Good question.
Honestly, I don't think about it much. I don't see myself as a minority. I see humans, and I see souls all about me, and the whole like predominantly Black company, I understand that, but it's not a thing that I think about. When it does come up, it's like, oh, that's cool, I'm Spanish. There's pride, but there's not like, I don't know, I don't make it a thing, right? Because when you make something a thing, then it has control over you. So I'm just proud to be a soul in this company, one of many that is just sharing their heart. Yeah.
That's great. Here comes another one, Belén. This is from Terrell Rogers Jr. What was some of the most eye-opening information that you received from someone that has elevated your career? Elevated your dance performance. There we go.
So advice that elevated my dance performance?
Yes, some of the most eye-opening information that you've received.
Eye-opening information that I've received. Ooh, that's a good one. Let's see. There was one time, I mean, I'm sure there's many, but the one that comes to mind now, someone came up to me and just said to me, just be yourself. Just be yourself out there. Like, don't think about anything that anyone has said today.
Right.
Like, just be yourself. And when they did that, all the inhibitions just like left me, and I was like, whatever's happening is going to happen. And I had a blast. I had a blast on stage, and that's usually where I try to come from, just like that authenticity, humanness. So it was really great to hear that particular day, because the notes previously in that day were to some extent overwhelming me because I had to do it that night. So it was good to hear that.
Awesome. So here comes another one. I like this one. Let's see. If you had to meet one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
If I had to meet one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why? Okay, so this is Belén for real.
Okay.
This is going to be silly to
Go
most
ahead.
people, but I have to be okay with that. Those who really know me know that this isn't a real human being. But it is someone real to me. I'm a huge fan of the movie Avatar.
Okay.
I would love to meet Natiri.
Okay.
Because she really speaks to my heart and the way my aura is built. So, but in the human realm, you know, I don't know, there's so many beautiful people. Like I'm a big fan of Mr. Rogers. I just am. The work he did for children and his compassion towards evolving the child's inner state was very moving. The more I dug deep into him, would love to get to know him and Harriet Tubman. And I thank Danica for that, because she inspired me to watch the movie. And when I watched it, I was like, yeah, she's someone I would really love to talk to, because I'm really inspired by gutsy people. I'm really inspired. And even Mr. Rogers, I would say, is gutsy, because it's really that. It's like, how do we impart our hearts in the world in a way that uplifts everyone, that it's really not just only about us, that we work towards ourselves so that we can uplift others from the highest and greatest degree. So those two people in the human realm are two people I'd really love to meet.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But I'm going to just throw a couple more of these questions in. This is from Traveling Tova. How do you keep the spirit of dance alive when you've done it time and time again? This is a good question for this particular woman right here, too.
Yeah, I pray a lot. I pray a lot, and I meditate a lot. So I'm very introspective, and I'm always checking in with myself. How you doing? How you feeling? And so when I'm in a point where it's like one thread left, a part of me is like, I would love a sandwich. Like you're so tired. And all you can think about is like rest and nothingness. I try to settle into the depths of who I am. And you could feel that when you're meditating, the center of myself. And I try to surrender all the work I've done up until that point in the performance, and just let go. Whatever comes out is literally my highest, because there is no way that I prepare the way I do to mark on stage. So I let go and pray that it's enough, because this is all I have in that moment. Yeah.
My thing is acting a little crazy. Here we go. Let's see. Since becoming familiar with the Ailey legacy, are there any dancers from the past that you see yourself in? And that's from Xavier Mack. He's one of my faves.
I definitely have to watch more archives, hopefully when more are available. But I've never felt, like I said before, I see myself in this person. I'm just deeply inspired by anyone that's very fiery, anyone that's very captivating, that like is just hypnotizing. I don't know how to describe it. but like Sarita Allen and Renee Robinson, Matthew Russian, Hope Boykin. I don't know, like they're so, you know, like just some people that like, just like hit you in the gut with power, but it's like a intentional power. And yeah, that's what resonates with me the most when I see dance. That's what, I don't even see steps half the time. I just see energy. So it's very important to me.
So this one's coming in. I think it's a comment. You've been a tremendous inspiration to me since I was a kid at Origination, Demetrius.
Thanks, Demetrius. Love you.
Don't you love it when they say when they were a kid?
Yeah, you're so silly. I know. I'm like, I feel like you've been the same. Yeah. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
So this is, some of these are in the feed. This one's from really Suzanne. How do you want your audience after your performance?
I love you. I love that question. Thank you so much for asking.
Okay.
My intention. Can you hear me? My intention is always to. Yeah. My intention is always to. I love it. Okay, so one time I saw a rehearsal by Matthew Russian. You know, he's amazing. And it was a piece by Jamar. It was on Ailey just a few years ago. And I saw it and I was like bawling. This is like in the studio. And I had to go up to him and say, thank you. Like, I've been waiting for dance to do this to me. Like, this is why I dance. Like, these moments that I felt something internally click, like shift. That's the goal of mine when I dance. That like I'm gonna make a new choice. That kind of shift has the person unconsciously change themselves, right. Make a new choice. And so that's what inspires me. That kind of transformation, that kind of devotion to your artistry, which Matthew Russian is the perfect example.
Perfect.
Oh, he's amazing. That vulnerability and that quality, it just changes lives, you know. And that's my goal, to deeply transform at a cellular level, at an energetic level, so that we can continue to inspire each other. Just like you, Hope, inspired me. You gave me that when I was back in Boston. That's what I'm talking about, because you inspired me to keep going. That's what I'm talking about. Not just, I don't want someone to just come watch me and like, oh, she's pretty and she can dance well. That's boring to me, because I want to do to you what I wish someone would do for me. You know, that level of inspiration.
You know, and I hope you know that there are young people, you know, and I know that you are really, like, mentorship is really important to you, and making sure that people get what you got. And I just know that we all, I wish you could see it. Well, you'll be able to see it when I do the replay, because I put it in the Ailey stories. But I want you to go through and look at these comments, Belén, because you are doing what you want. What your heart says is what you are bringing, you know. And I love us. We have a wonderful, special relationship.
I don't even know.
We can go in. But it's
always love. It's like
always.
You know what it is? You and I are so similar.
We are,
to an extent. We're a little stubborn, but we love what we do, and we're very
we love one another,
and we love one another.
Yeah. Yes, and I'm just so grateful. I don't want this to get turned off, so I'm going to do the sign off. But don't leave. Okay. Everyone, thank you so much for joining this really special conversations with Belén Indhira Pereyra. I'm just going to keep trying to say it, Belén.
It's perfect. No, you got it down.
Thank you. And you can find out about everything and anything Ailey All Access at alvinailey.org/Ailey All Access. And then you can also take some classes and find out what's going on, so you can move around in your house at aileyextension.com/keep dancing. This week, we are streaming Cry. And the special treat is that it is a 1972 video of Judith Jamison dancing it. get yourself ready, turn off your lights, get your popcorn, get your
Yes.
business together, because this is going to be no joke. And also follow All Things Ailey. I know you're on the Ailey Instagram, so you probably follow All Things Ailey, but follow All Things Ailey. And Belén, thank you so much, lovely. You are awesome. Thank you.
You are
This was
awesome.
so fun.
Love you guys. Thank you so
Love
much
you.
for your
Thank
time.
you.
Have
Bye,
a
everybody.
day,
Have a
guys.
great day. Bye.
Bye.